Speed 1937 is, in theory, not a terrible idea for a game. Creating a historical racer which lets you test drive some of the classic vehicles of the era could have made for a fun time, akin to playing a video game version of The Great Race. You can picture yourself darting around historical courses in some of the earliest examples of supercharged cars. Better games have come from worse ideas, but unfortunately for Spirit of Speed, any conceivable problem the game could suffer presents itself, making for perhaps one of the worst game experiences anyone could subject themselves to, regardless of console or genre. Spirit of Speed essentially lets you test out 15 classic cars, including some of the first twin superchargers, such as the Alfa Romeo P3. There are a few modes of play, allowing you to race across 9 courses, including Roosevelt Raceway and Montana. You can set up a quick race, customise settings such as the number of laps, partake in a tournament which, oddly, has you aiming for at least 4th position, or try out scenario mode, which sets up a list of 10 challenges which usually start you with an imposed limitation, such as starting at the back of the grid or pitting the player in a weaker car. The list of modes is not a bad concept, with the only big disappointment being the omission of any multiplayer. Unfortunately, things fall apart once you begin a race. Spirit of Speed is a woeful racer due to a catalogue of flaws. Vehicles in this game, whether due to intentional design or poor mechanics, are hard to control. Often, your steering will cause your car to spin out, leaving you scrambling to change into reverse gear. AI can compound this issue, lurching between comatose and aggressive. They can sometimes be so slow you can lap them, yet at other points, they prove impossible to catch. Scenario mode, which can put you at a disadvantage, will prove insanely hard thanks to these issues. Other elements of Spirit of Speed make it near torturous. The track design is incredibly simplistic, often comprising of straights and ovals, with some occasional deadly corners. You also have to contend with managing fuel, oil and tyre wear, forcing a pit stop at the start of laps. This is compounded by the sheer length of races, with some tournament races going upwards of 20 minutes. It's one thing to lose a race after a short time, but after spending nearly half an hour and being spun out by an aggressive car, or losing out on pole position due to refueling and not being able to physically catch up with the AI is unbelievably frustrating. It means that slugging your way through the lengthy tournament mode, challenging scenario mode, or even dipping into a quick race is not worth the effort. Spirit of Speed is also one of the most technically inept games to come out of this generation. Nothing looks flattering, with poor car models and ugly tracks, but it's the technical woes which drag this game down further. The pop-in as you race around the track is staggering, the load times are excessive, and the frame rate is horrific, swaying from sluggish, affecting only your car, to nearly unbearable when more competitors are on screen. The sound isn't much better, with poor quality engine sounds and lame crash effects. There is some music in the menus, but on track there is zero music to speak of, sapping all the atmosphere from racing. It's a completely dire showing, especially considering it's a Dreamcast title. When you factor in all of these issues, Spirit of Speed 1937 is impossible to recommend to even the most diehard of racing fans. The driving is so fundamentally flawed that trying to extract any value from its shortlist of modes is futile. Technically disastrous, mechanically awful, and bloated to the point of being torture, this racer proves an exercise in frustration for any who dare attempt to overcome its mountainous problems. Even if you have an affinity for the era it attempts to pay tribute to, there is no reason to give Spirit of Speed a second look.